Okay, this is Lorena del Mundo. I have chose her for my project for our midterm in Sociology 141. She works here at EOPS at College of San Mateo. And I chose her because I've heard her story before and would like to share it with students in our class. I'd like to ask you, Lorena, a few questions. How did your family come to America?
My parents came as undocumented. They did the typical, they don't have, basically got a coyote and crossed the border, started working in gardening and moved their way up to San Francisco Bay Area, and now they work in the hotel industry. In I think it was 1989 when the Amnesty Act passed that allowed for the application of citizenship, so application for residency for undocumented people that had been here certain years, and then that's how my parents were able to get legal status in the country.
What generation are you?
I'm first generation born in the United States.
Why did they come here, and what was good and what was hard about coming here for them?
Why they came here initially was just temporary to get some money for their marriage and for life to be established over there. They're from a little rancho in Mexico, and so all of their money that they had earned here, they invested in their crops, and that year it rained not enough for what they needed, and they lost all that they had invested, and so the coming back was to recuperate what they had lost. And 33 years later, they're still here. I say what was hard, why they did initially was the money, but the second time around, I had already been born, and so at that point it became for a better life for me. And what was hard was, leaving everything that they knew, leaving their language, their country, their culture, coming to a place where it was very clear to them that they weren't accepted, that they didn't belong. As a man, I know for my father, it's been very difficult working in the hotel, in the kitchen, where at home he won't even take his plate from the table.
Right.
So it was hard. I think it was a huge sacrifice that they made. They left a lot behind, but they've also established a lot here.
Do you happen to know any stories about their first year here in the United States?
Yeah, I know that they were deported in their first year. I know that they lived with other families, so there was already this little network of people that had brought his older brothers who had come here before him. And I know the difficulty of the adjustment to the language. But at the same time, there was a sense of community in that, they lived with other family that was already here. So I know, in that sense, it was a little easier.
What, if anything, could the U.S. have done to make their transition easier?
I think just accepting and acknowledging the impact and the importance and the value and just accepting the work that a lot of undocumented immigrants provide to this country, to the state, understanding the economic value of them, and appreciating them for that, and recognizing and not mistreating them, not being judgmental towards them. I think just accepting that they're a part of our society, just like anybody else, and giving them legal access to the rights that anybody else has, and just being real upfront and about the impact that these workers have on our economy, on our society. big corporations know our value. You know, Sears and all these, you know,
UC Berkeley used to pretty much lose sleep in order to strive for your degree. What was it that pushed you? I want them to hear.
What pushed me? What pushed me was just remembering and not taking for granted the sacrifice of my parents. Just the thought of them being in the trunk of the car, putting everything at risk and sacrificing everything that they knew with no formal education, but all they had was a love and a desire for me to have a better life. Not taking for granted the 32 years that they've worked in the hotel industry, and my mom cleaning hotel rooms day after day.